Did I hear God wrong about moving 7 hours away from my family with no job lined up, bad credit, no apartment, no steady income? And would I recommend anybody to do it? So I'm gonna tell the full truth. I'm not gonna leave nothing out. I'm not gonna sugarcoat nothing. And I'm just start from the beginning. So God kept on highlighting Texas to me, and I was just confused. I was like, why is God highlighting Texas to me? And I just asked God the question. I was like, God, if you want me to go to Texas, highlight which part of Texas you want me to go to. And he was pretty clear about Dallas. So I was confused because, when I first figured out he said Dallas, I was like, okay, maybe I need to get my affairs in order because he want me to end up in Dallas. So I need to make sure I'm doing everything so I can prepare to go to Dallas. But then it's like his voice got stronger. It's like stuff in my house and a lot of different things around me just start getting uncomfortable and stuff like that. And I started sitting with God. I'm like, God, you want me to leave right now? Like, wait a minute. Excuse me. I ain't editing this. I was like, God, you want me to leave right now? Like, is this what you want? And my whole thing was I didn't want to stay in Memphis and it's something in Dallas for me. And I didn't want to go to Dallas and miss whatever that was in Memphis for me. And that was my whole thing. So I was just telling myself, hey, look, if you go to Dallas and there's nothing there for you, at least you got that peace of knowing that there's nothing there for you. You know what I'm saying? So I asked God for further confirmation, like, should I go? I feel like he gave me that confirmation and I got on the road. Now, when I got on the road, I immediately just felt God speaking to me because he showed me how much of my life I was missing out on because I always been their friend. Like, okay, when they ask me to go out of town or do things, I'd be like, I want to go, but I got to pay this off. I got to do this. I got to do this. I always felt like I had to be in a certain position to go experience life, to go on trips and doing all of those things. And driving to Dallas by myself, and it cost me $94 in gas money from Memphis to Dallas, just $94. It made me see how attainable it was to go out of town. And I got sad a little bit because I was just thinking about how many memories I missed out on with friends and all of these things because of the simple fact that I thought it wasn't attainable. And honestly, I owe more people now than I did when they was asking me. I was actually in a good financial position back then, but the thing about it was my mind wasn't. And that just brought so much insight to me because I feel like because we've been homeless so many times and because like money has always kind of been, you feel me, like we need to be stable. I feel like me, my family, like my mama and me, we kind of like, okay, we just need to make sure that home is secure, that our bills paid. So that's luxury to us because you don't gotta share foods with the rats and stuff no more. Well, you don't gotta do that's not important. But that's like luxury to us, and I feel like that kind of blinded us from experiencing life. Like we be watching our family go out, and that's not because like we can't afford it, but that just came from not being invited. But that's whatever. So it was just, but like you feel me, like growing up watching them go out of town and stuff, it's like, dang, I want to do that, and I always felt like it wasn't attainable. And God just spoke to me and just showed me like, you can go out and experience life. Like you don't have to have $1 million to do this. You don't got to be 100% debt free to do this. I'm not saying abandon your responsibilities, but it's very attainable. And I was looking at my little sister, like she always trying to get the family together. Like she reminded me of me. Like my mama got 4 girls. The oldest two, whatever. I don't want to talk about that part, but I just say me and my little sister was getting close. And she reminded me of me because it was like she always wanted the family to get together. Like she always tried to do game night or just go out on a trip. And she actually tried to go out on a trip for her birthday, but we ain't even gonna speak on it because whatever. But and things like that. So she trying to get the family together. And I'm just realizing that maybe she around all of these people in school and stuff where they coming back telling memories with their family, how they did this, how they did that, and she ain't got none. And it just made me feel like it just made me see how attainable it was. So I instantly booked us a ticket for a concert out of town. Like I was just like, well, not instantly. I'm lying. It took a couple of weeks to get the money, but when I did that, I was just like, yeah, like I don't wanna keep robbing myself of life. I don't wanna rob her of life. So that was that. But then I got here and we know that I got to Texas and we know that the whole hotel situation. So if you don't know, basically, I booked the hotel before I got to Dallas, and it for people asking why I didn't just go into the hotel and asked them. I couldn't get into the room. I couldn't get into the office because it was an extended stay, so they office hours closed because it's like an apartment, week to week apartment basically. So like in apartments, the office workers don't stay there overnight. So if you checking in after hours, you supposed to call somebody and they were gonna let you in. So that's what I did. But by the time I was there and I was calling them, I had just spoke to the lady on the phone. I was like, I'll be there in an hour. She was like, I'll tell Tony and he'll be there. And this the number, call him. I was calling. Tony didn't answer. Mind you, I had been calling that number all day. Tony did not answer. So I kind of went into like panic mode for a little quick sec because I'm like, okay, I had enough money to where like I can go week to week, but that week that I had paid for, I didn't have enough money to go buy a whole new hotel for another week because I had to wait till some more money came in basically. So it wasn't that I just went down there and didn't have nothing. It was just like I went down there and I was gonna be on a week to week basis, which I was fine with because I had already did all, you know what I'm saying? I was cool. But when he didn't answer the phone and I couldn't get into the place that I paid for, I was like, bro, I got $200 left to my name. This was supposed to be my food, gas money, personal emergency money, and everything until next week where I can pay for, another room, and then I'm still gonna be having to live, crunch things a little bit. So I was like, bro, I kind of panicked, and that's kind of when I posted that video because I was like, I can't call my mama, I can't call my daddy because my daddy don't even know I'm down here. I can't call my mama because she gonna think I'm going crazy and all that. It was just too much, and I just, but then I just told myself like, fool. I mean, I told myself, like, it's okay. Like you got enough money to, get a hotel for the night. Tomorrow you can find Tony. Somebody gonna find Tony. You'll be able to get into a room. It's cool. Like, this was your money to eat with. It's cool, God. Everything gonna be cool. You gonna be Gucci. All right, you're gonna be good. So I put on my big girl pants or whatever, and then I posted the other video like, y'all, I'm cool. This is just gonna be a part of my Tyler Perry movie. So I went to this hotel because the hotel that I was staying in, it was an extended stay, but it was the cheapest one. So, I read some reviews and they was kind of scary or whatever. But I was like, hey, this the best of the, you know what I'm saying? So for that one night, I told myself, you know what? All these hotels kind of expensive, so we might as well just go to a good hotel for a night and soak up the luxury for the night because tomorrow we never know what type of roaches we running into. You feel me? So I went to the hotel and it was cool. It was nice. I ain't never seen no hotel like that. That was a good hotel. And I had left that morning and I was trying to call, Tony and them. And I was just like, God, why didn't you want me to go to that hotel? Like, last night, was I not gonna like it? Was it gonna be like too many roaches or something? And it was gonna give me a bad taste in my mouth about my whole journey? Like, why was it? So I had, before I left, I had heard about Airbnbs renting out rooms. But I was just like, I'm not finna stay with nobody I don't know. That's weird. Like, no, I don't know people like that for real. And after I experienced that hotel, that's why taste is very important. After I experienced that little like luxury hotel, I said, wait a minute. Cause I'm too good for this. No, I gotta watch what I say, cause y'all be like, you never too good for nothing. I know that, boo. I just told y'all I just lived with rats and roaches for a while. I'm very aware. I hate how many disclaimers we got to give out just because we follow God. That's so irritating. But anyways, because basically the a month stay at an Airbnb basically was the same price or cheaper as the extended stay hotel. And I just checked the reviews. I was like, God, just cover me, please. So I end up, getting my money back from the hotel, booked the Airbnb for a month. And I went there. Now, when I went to the Airbnb, I had opened the door. Like, they got a little shoe rack there. They got a little shoe rack where you can't walk in the house and stuff. The Airbnb was nice. I'm not gonna lie. It was a nice house. Nice house. So I had took my shoes off, and when I got right there, I just seen every size 15 in shoes, and I was just like, my polo shoes really do not stand a chance. And, cool, but I ain't really think nothing of it. And come to find out, I was living with like 4 other grown men, like grown, grown. I'm not talking about my age. I'm talking about like overly grown, like real grown. And I was just like, yeah. And I remember my mama called me. She was like, "How you doing?" I was like, "I'm good. I'm cool, whatever." And I was like, "Yeah, I stay with 4 men." And I can tell her voice dropped, but I could tell that because I was so far away, she was trying to be positive. She was like, "Well, it's cool. You said you comfortable and all of that, so that's good. You learning, you adjusting." And I know that I could tell her voice was dropping because at 2 in the morning, she texted me and was like, "Yeah, we might have to call that a loss. I know you don't want to lose no money, but we might have to call that a loss. I'll help you. I'll rearrange some bills if I need to, and we can just get you somewhere so you can be by yourself." And I was like, I ain't want to put my mama under that. And I was like, you know what? I'm cool. I'm sticking it out. Like, I'm not tripping. I'm cool. Now, searching for apartments. Okay, my credit score, let's just say times got hard last year. My credit score went from like 720 to -4. And you feel me? Like I learned so much on that. I learned so much as from that Airbnb because like I'm nosy. I'm nosy, but I'm also a businesswoman. So when I seen that she had like the Airbnb had like 5 rooms and everybody was written out. Then I looked on a site like the master bed, the whatever the master bedroom. They say we don't say that before because of other reasons, but y'all, I don't know the other word. That's all I could think of. Well, ain't nobody else our master but Jesus, okay? So whatever. But that room, the room with the bathroom, okay? That room, she was rented out for like 1,400, 1,500 because you can have your own bathroom. So in my head, you know what I did? I went to go see how much the rent is every month. Them type houses, the rent like 2,300. So stay with me now. You got 5 rooms, 4 bedrooms. You charging like 1,000. That's 4,000. That's all the math we got to do. We ain't even got to count that master bedroom, whatever the case you want, whatever you want to call it, the room with the bathroom. We ain't got to count that way. And I was just like, I always wanted to do Airbnb, but I was thinking like renting out the whole house, like for people with, how they be going to go vacation stays. But I'm thinking like, hold on, this little rent a room out might be where the money at. I was like, I want to do that, and then whatever. So I started Googling and stuff like that, trying to find houses. I did go on some apartment tours to try to figure out where could I stay. But let's be honest, all the good places you got to have at least a 630 credit score. I just told my business. I ain't got that. I ain't got nothing close to that, okay? Nothing close to it. I did, but I don't know more. And I was in my head, I'm like, now I'm not even thinking just about living. I'm thinking like, this place only want like a 630 credit score. If I can get a house and start renting a house, furnish it up, and you know what I'm saying, and then start renting it out, I like that. I like that idea. But then I started looking for apartments, and all apartments was real expensive. On top of that, you needed a good credit score. You need a good credit score. So I was really wrestling with God. I was like, God, like, I could stick it out here like for $1,000 a month. But that $1,000, that could be $1,000 on my debt that I owe, so I can, get what I want. Because like it's no sense. I know people want the story to be like, go to Dallas, struggle. You know what I'm saying? Struggle and, sleep in your car and all of that. And I understand that we like those type of stories because it gives Tyler Perry. But I got a mama, you know what I'm saying, with free rent. So as much as I was wrestling with, like, do I stay, do I go? I decided that, like, I want to stay in Dallas, but let's be realistic. A credit score not spiritual. You just pay down the credit cards and all of that, your score go up. That's not spiritual. What you got to do to get that to make that happen, and the discipline and the work ethic, that's spiritual, but just that's not spiritual. Like, do you got the credit score or not? And I say that because I met this nice young lady at a church, and she was like, I can't believe we're going to the same church. And I was like, yeah, I think my journey ended quicker than I thought it would. It's not going how I thought it would go and stuff like that. And she was like, well, if God told you come, you got to stick it out. And I was like, yeah, that's true. But at the same time, I was like, I feel like, like I feel like I'm finna go like the money, the $1,000 that I don't have to give, I could be putting it on my credit so when I come back I can get what I want. And the business ventures and all of that. And she was like, well, you don't got good credit, but you got favor. And like, yes, I know that. I know that. But a credit score, I don't know where my favor gonna show up at. Like, I don't know if God gonna give me favor by giving me a business ideal or giving me customers or whatever the case may be to get the money to pay off my debt. I don't know if the favor gonna show up in some of my debt just getting wiped out. I don't know if the favor gonna show up as if like I just get approved with, what I'm saying, like bad credit. I don't know, but I can't be walking around not doing things to fix my credit because I'm saying I got favor. We all got favor, like I just feel like I don't want to be too spiritual and act like, what I'm saying? But, I get what she was saying, but at the same time, I know, like, and then a lot of people, like, for instance, she was coming down and she said God had told her to move down there. But she a mama and her kids are like my age. And she was like, they got job interviews and all that. And I was like, see, that's different. Y'all got a family here. You grown, they grown. Like, you feel me? It's different. Like, they going with their mama. I'm their age. My mama in Memphis. So basically, I did decide to come back to Memphis just to pay off my debt and stuff like that to get my credit score. And I didn't want to say nothing because I feel like people who looked at my story and was gonna be like, dang, that inspired me. I feel like God told me to move because I still busted a move. I still went out there. And when I came back, I see why I want to go back. Like, I literally want to go back. But I have to do things in order. I have to be smart. Why would I stay in a room with 4 grown men, like, by myself? 4 grown men, size 16 shoes, paying $1,000 a month to share everything, even a bathroom, when that $1,000 a month could be paying down towards these credit cards. And I could, if I'm gonna be anybody roommate, I might as well be my mama and little sister roommate. Like, that don't make sense to me. It don't make sense to me. And I really had to make sure that, you know what I'm saying, it was like, of course, if God want me there, I would leave tonight. But it's like, you know what I'm saying, I really feel like, I don't feel like the trip was a waste at all. You want to know why? Because I gained insight that I literally can go and travel and experience the world. Like, I plan on going on a lot of trips before the year end, and especially next year. Like, well, maybe not for the year end, but especially next year for sure. Like, since I see how attainable it is, I plan on doing that. I actually plan on going back to Texas. I want a couple of houses I want a couple of Airbnbs in Texas, but like, you gotta do stuff to make that happen. Like, and I was applying for jobs. I've been applying for jobs forever. You know how hard it is to get a job in marketing? I got a bachelor's degree. It's in, what I'm saying, in marketing. I've been applying for jobs. A lot of the jobs I've been applying for, I don't qualify for because they feel like somebody with a degree gonna find something better and leave. But the top jobs I don't qualify for because everybody want experience. And I was a caregiver for 5 years. Y'all don't know how bad it. I have a very weak stomach, a very weak, very, very weak stomach. So for years, I'm wiping somebody else. They smearing it everywhere, all on walls. Y'all don't know how bad I was praying every day, and I almost quit every day that happened because I'm like, God, no. And mind you, it was only $15 an hour. And I was just like, God, I ain't go to school all them years to make $15 an hour when there's people who didn't go to school at all, they making way more than that. And I feel like that's a field that's underpaid anyways. And they can do that because you got nurses who go whatever. But like, I ain't go to school for all them years to make $15 an hour doing something that people don't appreciate. And honestly, even with them jobs, I ain't gonna lie, before people be like, you gotta be humble. Yeah, I even applied for them and I still didn't get them. But it's like, I don't know, like, yeah, I make money off content. It's no surprise, but it's not that type money that is like, oh, well, I don't need a job. I can quit all my jobs right now. Or if I show the people my income at an apartment site, they're going to be like, yeah. If I show people my income at an apartment, trying to get an apartment, they're going to be like, talk to us in 6 months and let us know how the content picking up. That's what they're going to say. But, I got enough money to, pay my bills, eat, and snowball this debt a little bit by little bit. But honestly, I do want to go back to Dallas. Like, I ain't gonna lie, it's not even, I just want to go back to Dallas, honestly. Like, And me being in Dallas, it's not, that's what I was trying to tell people. Like, me being sad about being in Dallas was not me being sad about being in Dallas. I talked more to my mom and little sister when I was in Dallas than when I was in Memphis. Truthfully speaking, I didn't have friends in Memphis, so that I ain't got my friends. It wasn't nothing I was missing in Memphis. Nothing, nothing. It was just like, I guess going out there made me realize, like, dang, I don't got nobody who checking in with me to see how you doing, this, that, and the third. And people was like, you can check in with us. I love y'all. I know that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about those personal relationships that I know. Like, I don't got, so it was like, you feel me? It was like what I already knew was kind of like really settling in out there. But as far as being out there, I love being out there. And you know what I'm saying? Besides the fact of turning into a black cookie, like, I was overly burnt. I'm still burnt. I was burnt out there, though. But yeah, I can't wait to go back to Dallas. You know, I want to go back to Dallas. I really do. But I'm trying to, like, I ain't gonna lie. Like, when I'm in my room, I'm like, bruh, should I go to Dallas now? Like, I want to go to Dallas, but I gotta not let my feelings get in the way of me, cause I'm the type of person, when I want to do something, I want to do it. So I'll be making a video tomorrow saying, yeah, y'all, I drove to Dallas overnight, but I gotta remember I can't do that because it's a plan. Like, you gotta pay your debt off because them apartments out there, and then people like, you got favor, you don't need no credit score, baby. It take $300 to apply for an apartment out there. What if I don't get it? $300? That's my gas money, emergency money, and grocery money. I don't got $300 to apply for 5 different places. If I had that, this wouldn't be a problem. I'd just go buy a house. But yeah, that's the thing. If God told you to go do something, please move, because I literally, honestly, I don't feel like it was a waste at all. Like, I learned so much about myself. I learned so much about how I was robbing myself of life, and that was the most golden thing ever. So I don't feel like it was a waste. And don't look at my journey and feel like I'm not gonna go because she came back. No, if God told you to move, move. Because everybody's journey ain't the same. You might go down there and get a job in 2 days. You might go down there and get an apartment in 2 days. You might go down there and end up coming back. You don't know. But if God told you move, move, because it's a reason, whether it's a lesson or he wants you to stay. So move. If God told you to go somewhere, go, move. Don't waste no time. Just do it, okay? But yeah, I just want to update y'all because I ain't wanna be down here and not tell y'all, but I am in Memphis. Um, so yeah, that's it. But I've been feeling a little down. I'm not gonna lie. I've been feeling down. It's like overwhelming. Like, I ain't gonna lie. When I went to Texas, like, my eating habits, I was doing good, not eating meat, being vegan and all of that. My diet been terrible ever since I went down there. Even now, I'm trying to get my diet back on track. I hate that because I had not been eating meat. Like, yes, I'm in control of it, but it just, going to Dallas with the mindset of I'm staying down here kind of threw me off. I wish I would have, you know what I'm saying? I wish I would have just been able to go down there and be like, okay, this just temporarily, and enjoy it. I would have never brought all them clothes because it just made me feel cluttered in my own space. Actually, when I get enough money, I think I want to go down there for, like, I don't know, a week or two, and just, bring a few things and just really get to explore the city for real, because I really didn't get to, like, as much as I would have wanted to. And I feel like I want to do that, or maybe explore another city, or both. But that's what I want. But yeah, that's everything. I know some people finna be like, God told you to come down here and you didn't. Or some people gonna be like, there was fear pulling you back. Fear of what? Fear of what exactly? And some people might just be disappointed. I don't know, but everybody, I'm not gonna, like, there's no reason to sleep in a car and I got a bed at home. There's no reason. We love them big type things. It don't have to be like that. I got a lot of people who's that's their case, they can't go back home. I'm blessed to where I can go back home. You feel me? So it just don't make sense to sleep in a car. You feel me? It don't. Not saying whatever. It's too many disclaimers I gotta give, but for the people who not finna bash me in the comments, I really love y'all, and just pray for me because it's a lot going on. I don't know how to tie a turban. It's so many twisted loops up in here. I don't know, but I just hope y'all have a great night. And I'm going to talk to y'all later, okay?